what I would like to do for our staff is I would like to invite Walter Stark to talk about the impact of Crown of Thorns starfish and how they come and go, because there are many things that are false about the reef science: ocean alkalinity, water temperature, air temperature, coral bleaching. But they occur, but they're not attributable to human activity. And also Crown of Thorns starfish. Now, Dr. Walter Stark is an expert from around the world, many marine reefs around the world, and he's going to tell us about what drives the Crown of Thorns cycles and how they come and go, and why they're a benefit to the reef and what they do for the reef. If you could stand close to the microphone.
Sure,
and shield it.
Yeah. The Crown of Thorns starfish outbreaks are nothing unusual in the sense that starfish generally all over the world, different species of them, and other echinoderms, sea urchins and holothurians and so forth, are noted for having large population fluctuations. The reason why is because their reproductive strategy is to produce millions of tiny eggs, and because the eggs are very tiny, they take a long time to develop because they don't have a lot of stored energy to get them through those early stages of development. So they drift in the plankton, they slowly develop over a period of months, and during that time, they have a very high mortality rate because the plankton is full of all sorts of other little creatures which will feed on them if it can. And the result is that only a tiny portion survive to settle out somewhere and grow up into adult starfish. Now, if the conditions in the plankton at a given time, they vary a lot with currents and winds and so forth. And if the conditions are favorable and you get just a small increase in the survival rate, it can create a huge increase in the number of starfish that settle out somewhere. And that depends on these variables of ocean circulation and so forth. So you get these erratic outbursts of population. Now, in the case of the Crown of Thorns, it occurs geographically everywhere from East Africa and the Red Sea all the way across the Pacific to the western coast of Central America. And everywhere it has these fluctuations. Now, many of these outbursts occur in places like the Central Pacific atolls, where there's no land runoff, there's no farming, there's no industry, there's no human effects. Many of these smaller atolls have no inhabitants at all, and they're isolated because they don't have any islands or only tiny islands, and yet you still get fluctuations of the starfish population. Now, the starfish, their preferred food is the fast-growing, branching and plate-like acropora corals. Now, if you take out here on the reef, from time to time, any given reef is likely to be decimated, the coral on it, by various factors. You can have a cyclone that comes through and turns it all to rubble down to a depth of, 6 or 8 meters or more. Or you can have a flood if it's a nearshore reef and the fresh water can kill the coral. Or you can have a severe bleaching event, which in some cases kills the corals, but in most cases it's a temporary condition and they recover. But in any event, various things can kill the coral. Now, when the coral's been wiped out on a reef, when it repopulates, at first you just get algae for the first 6 months or a year. Then you start to get more and more soft corals, which are faster growing. And then after 3 or 4 years, you get the hard corals starting to come back. And the first ones to come back are these fast-growing acroporas and plate-like corals because they could grow up quicker. The head-forming corals, which make up the real structure of the reef, they grow slower because they're more massive, but they get overshadowed by these faster growing ones. Now, an outbreak of starfish allows the starfish, because that's their preferred food, they come in and prune back these fast-growing corals, giving the slower-growing ones a chance to catch up. So after a decade or two, you're back to a pretty diverse coral community and a healthy-looking reef. So they perform an actual useful service many times of cropping back these fast-growing corals on the reefs that are in the process of recovery from one cataclysmic event or another.